Monocot and dicots. Monocots and dicots are the two major groups of flowering plants, also known as the angiosperms. On the left you see an example of what a monocot flower would look like, and on the right you see an example of what a dicot flower would look like. Cotyledons. Monocots have only one single cotyledon, while dicots have two cotyledons. This was where their name comes from, mono being one and cot being the abbreviation for cotyledon. The same goes for dicot, as di being two and cot being the abbreviation of cotyledon. As you can see in the monocot, it only has one cotyledon, compared to the dicot on the right, which has two cotyledons. Now an example of a cotyledon monocot would be a corn seed. One example of a dicot would be a bean seed. The leafination. The veins in the leaf of the monocot run parallel, while the veins in the leaf of a dicot are branched and net-like. On the left we see that the monocot veins run parallel to one another, and this would be found in like a grass leaf, while on the right side in the dicot we see that it is branched off from a main one and has net-like structure. This would be an example of a walnut tree leaf. The flowers of monocots are in parts of 3, while the dicots are in parts of 4s and 5s. As we see an example on the left of the monocot flower, it has 3 leaves. This can be in the multiples, usually found in 6 or 9. And on the right, we see the dicot flower, which has 5, and it's usually found in 10s or stems. The xylem and phloem in monocot stems are more randomly scattered, while in dicots they are grouped in a ring. On the left in the monocot we see that the xylem and the phloem aren't near each other. They're more spread out and there's no real structure to it. On the right we see that the dicot has the xylem and the phloem grouped together, and they form this ring structure that goes around the edge of the stem. Monocots have fibrous roots, while dicots have a taproot. On the left example, we see a monocot with a fibrous root system, as it's very fine and spreads out diversely. On the right, we see the taproot system, which consists of a larger, thicker main root with smaller roots coming off of it. Roots. In dicots, the xylem makes an X or a plus shape in the endodermis, while in monocots, they are scattered in the endodermis. So on the left, we see that inside the endodermis, the xylem and the phloem are really they make a circular type shape, but they're scattered out and don't really have a structured form to them. While on the right side, we see the dicot inside the endodermis, that the xylem makes this plus shape, while the phloem surrounds it. As a review, the seed leaves of monocots only have one cotyledon, while the seed leaves of dicots have two cotyledons. The leaf veins of monocots are typically parallel, while in dicots they are more branched and have this net-like structure to them. Stems. The stems of monocots, the vascular bodies, are in like a scattered arrangement, the vascular bodies being the xylem and the phloem. While in the dicots, the vascular bodies are arranged in the ring, in this ring structure. The flowers. Of monocots, the floral parts are usually in multiples of 3. As we can see in this example, it is multiple of 3 and it has 6. While the dicots are usually in multiples of 4 or 5. Also note that it is the dicots which contain a sepal on the flower. The roots of monocots are fibrous, while the roots of the dicots are taproot, which contain a larger, more centralized vein. The roots of monocots also have the xylem and the phloem more scattered and spread out, not in a certain uniform. While in the dicots it makes the plus or the X shape.